You know what, I'm glad that you asked me what we're doing here, because up until about 2 hours ago, I wasn't even sure. I was just told to show up in Vegas, and holy smokes, there's race cars everywhere. What you're experiencing is the Mint 400. I don't even know how many times I've run this thing, but if you've ever seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, this is the race they're covering. What running is this? They don't know either. See, no one knows. It's just a big party. These guys have been here for the last 30 years and they're not sure how many times we've run this thing. He didn't have a beard the first year. So we're here, it's 2021, I guess. We're here at the Mint 400. So me and a few guys are about to take this brand new Polaris RZR. We're gonna take this thing across the desert, and the goal is to finish the race and have it look mostly like this.
This is a joke, a little project. I guess you'll never understand this kind of mindset. Started as a dream, grew into reality. Made a lot of sacrifices, that's how it has to be. I give it everything I got, ain't no way you passing me. I know we're in the same profession, but you're not a match for me. I'm on another level. I'm on another level. I said I'm on another level. On another level.
We are just outside Las Vegas. Adam and his team have brought out their Polaris. Today we are going to be testing. I haven't done a huge amount of off-road racing or even off-road driving, so it's great that we've got a couple of hours now just to get a feel for the Polaris, see how it handles, power delivery, all that good stuff. Yeah, just looking forward to having some fun and getting some testing done. So first test is done out here in the desert. Had about 25-30 minutes behind the wheel, just ripping it around. Got lost a few times, but had a lot of fun. Feels great, really stable. Yeah, looking forward to it. I know that the lap I'm doing is like 3 hours long. That was 20 minutes and I'm already a bit tired, so I don't know how I'm gonna get on after 3 hours, but we'll give it a go, have some fun, and yeah, can't wait for the parade later, and then yeah, getting into it on Friday.
Took my chances, went the distance, will to survive. So many times
a couple of days ago from Faster, and they said, are you free in a couple of days' time? I was like, sure, what do you need me to do? They were like, can you go to Las Vegas and race in the mid 400? I was like, hell yeah, I can. And now somehow I'm in a Polaris driving down the strip of Las Vegas in a parade. Check this out.
And he's watching us all with the eye.
Done. I am kind of almost speechless at this point. That was sick. That was absolutely incredible. I don't know if I'll ever do a parade again somewhere better than that. You know, like if you had to think, where could you drive race cars or off-road trucks? Where, like, if you were doing a parade anywhere in the world, where would you think was better than that? I just can't. Like. I don't think there is anywhere more iconic or anywhere better than to drive race trucks. Polaris is up and down the strip of Las Vegas. Just insane. Mind blown. I need a beer.
We went back inside, sat down, had a few drinks, but all we kept talking about glory days. Well, pass you by, glory days. You know, when there were young girls, glory days, glory days.
I can't undersell how excited I am to be here in Las Vegas, and this is the 2021 Mint 400. I've always wanted to race this race, and this is finally my opportunity. Me and a couple of guys, it's like Adam Fitza and Baggsy, we're racing a brand spanking new RZR. This is a non-turbo car, mostly stock, and we're gonna try and push this thing all the way to the finish. And so right now we're just enjoying all the other racers, all the other people, the fans that came out to check everything out. We'll see how everything goes. We gotta head back over and get our car teched in, get our gear teched in, and then we'll be ready to race on Friday.
In order to respect the desert, you really got to start from the bottom. I mean, people didn't get to where they're at by not sweeping a floor or what, not going to college. So work your way up. You'll earn your respect in the desert, not as just a racer, but in the whole community, right? So let's start with a stock RZR. They perform amazingly. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna make dust, have a ton of memories. I mean, every mile, it's miles per miles, we call it.
Breaking in, shaping up.
I don't have a fraction of the experience any of these other guys have with these cars out here. I just really don't. However, I'm always impressed at what they'll take. Like, they're not particularly heavy, they're not particularly overbuilt, and it's like they seem to take an insane amount of abuse. There was many times on the racetrack and I was like, well, this is the last mile this car will do. But like, they kind of keep taking it and taking it until they don't. But ultimately, like, they're super impressive. What they'll do at 70 miles an hour or 65 miles an hour, the amount of, you know, the whoops, the bumps, the hits they'll take, it's nothing short of impressive.
It's absolutely incredible what those little side-by-sides can do. We gave that Polaris hell for 9 hours, and in the end, it made it through and it got back to the finish line.
So in order to get this stock RZR race legal, you know, there's obviously things you have to do, like better cage, chromoly cage. We built that by IMG. I mean, we had to put chromoly control arms on there, make everything way stronger. I mean, we beat the crap out of this. So these Zebra arms held up, ran through the desert, no issues all day. Obviously, you got to put on beadlock wheels so you don't have any flats or anything like that, and amazing Toyo tires. RZRs, the availability of parts, aftermarket components and accessories, they're endless. I mean, so You and your buddy over a weekend can bolt all this stuff on, right? In your garage, come out to the Mint 400, race it.
Deep in my bones.
What's up everyone, here at the Mint 400. So today I'm taking the first lap in our Be Faster RZR, and so after I hand it over on first lap, Baggsy gonna take it out on second one, then Adam Fitza is gonna bring it up in the rear on third lap. Plan on having a great day, and we're just minutes away from the flag drop. Gonna have a good time out there. It's a brand new car, gonna settle into pace and kind of get things off to a good start. We'll see you on the other side. This race doesn't pre-run, so it's like you're trying, you can only see the first couple of corners on the infield, and that ain't nothing. And so like trying to get your head around the first couple of corners and like what your pace is gonna be like, you can't do any of that. It's just, I'll see it when I see it. So that's a little bit aggravating. And then, for me, I've got so much like, I don't know if I call it anxiety, but like nervous energy, like I just want to get going, so I hate sitting there, and we sit there for so long and then so long again. But then finally, you start to figure out your lineup, who you're pairing up with, and then there's two cars, and then one car in front of you, and then now you're waiting, and then as soon as they say head on up the hill, you up there and like, we're going racing.
Aaron was going first. He jumped in the truck and headed off to the start line. And straight away, I realized that the start line was in front of all the spectators, and the first thing you do is go down a bit of a ramp into like a jump, which leads into another jump, with a couple of turns. I'd already seen one of the Polarises ended up on its roof in that section as well, so that was starting to make me a little bit more nervous because I could see how easy it was to roll, especially in front of all the people standing there.
And it's like you look across and it's like, this guy don't even know what he got himself into. I'm gonna smoke this guy right now, right off the line. He ain't never gonna see me again. And it's like, and then you point down the hill, look at the lights, ready to race. This guy just had a bad day, because here we go. And then we're off, first corner, and then right into the rhythm of it. And then with this race, as soon as you get into it and you're feeling good, 25 miles an hour for about the rest of your life. You just get to a speed control section and just drive around. So, all this excitement to idling down the road. But then you do eventually find the desert and the racing begins. I've always wanted to do this race, and what a hoot. And it's like, I love being out in this part of the desert, being in Nevada, but ultimately we hit dirt, throttle down, and everything sinks in, everything clicks, and it's time to go to work.
It was awesome. I know Aaron has a lot of desert experience with King of the Hammers and other desert races. Baggsy, awesome dude. He's a professional drift car racer. I don't even know if he's seen sand or the desert before. He's from UK. It's an island that rains damn near all year long.
For me, I guess the Mint was so far out of my comfort zone that I was just so nervous. It was like going into the event, I knew nothing about it. I remember going to bed the night before and I was trying to watch YouTube videos of previous events and previous races and trying to find anything online to try and give me a bit more understanding of what we were kind of walking into. It was only really explained to me on the morning of race day, which was Friday morning, that during the lap that I was doing, that we had to make 2 pit stops. It was quite key information really, but it wasn't given to me until probably only a few hours before the race started, which was kind of nerve-wracking, because at this point I was thinking, what else have they forgotten to tell me that they probably think I just know. It was a confusing time because I'd been promised obviously to have this amazing co-driver, professional, almost Mint 400 expert that was going to guide me round with ease, and that didn't quite happen, did it? Let's be honest.
After meeting up with the guys, they suggested that a seat might be available for part of the race, so I said, yeah, I'm game for that. And so, yeah, lent a race suit and a helmet from the team, and was just lucky enough to be part of it.
Slight change of plan. co-driver now has been changed because co-driver I was with has now got to go and qualify in the trophy truck, which is over there. And I'm now running with John from Alcon Brakes. John's reading the satellite navigation, which hopefully is just going to be just like the sat nav in your Tesla. If not, we're both slightly screwed. So, but you know, a lot of fun. Worst case scenario, we'll just follow the truck in front. This is it. They're 2 miles away. I'm getting in, getting my helmet on, getting everything ready. John's suiting up, and yeah, wish us luck. God knows what's going to happen.
I think when I saw Aaron driving back into main pit is when I was like, oh God, here we go. When, you know, I could see he was sort of taking his belts off. He was unplugging his radio, ready to jump out. And before I knew it, he'd stopped and he was getting out. And you know, you just have to get in and just strap yourself down as fast as possible and just get on with it. And then there's a guy shouting at you, go.
What's the info? It's fucking fast and it's rough, dude. It's like there's some sections you're gonna be crawling, be super chill on the crawl. Like just be patient because like it's trying to take the car apart. When it gets in the rough, mind your manners and save the car. All right, dude. Other than that, dude, you'll be wide open a lot. All right.
The first 5 or 10 minutes though, as I was saying, was the most important bit. You know, I wanted to make sure that we didn't have any issues, especially in front of all the crowd, you know, into that first area. That was my biggest phobia, making sure we got through that bit so that if we did have a problem, at least it wasn't in front of 10,000 people.
We got on well until he said, do you know how to co-drive and do you know how to read the map? And the answer to that question was no, because I hadn't even looked inside one of these things before. So yeah, a bit of a baptism of fire, quite exciting. A little bit of trepidation because you don't know what you don't know, and whilst everything looks kind of mild, you know, on the surface in the pit area, having been out in that environment before and having been in a pre-runner before, I kind of knew that the environment that was coming up would be particularly aggressive. So I think then the nerves set in, but it was incredibly exciting.
The aim in the game was to just bring the Polaris back in one piece. You know, we wanted to finish. We didn't want to try and do anything too daring. I didn't want to push the truck outside of my comfort zone. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure we were, you know, keeping pace. The last thing I wanted to be doing was almost putting myself in a vulnerable position by going too slow because, you know, the big trucks are going to come up behind pretty quick. So you want to sort of keep going with the flow of traffic.
For the first sort of 5 or 10 minutes of the stint that we were in the car, I said to Baggsy, what are we doing here? And he said, I know, it's surreal. And then it got really hard. The terrain got quite aggressive, and we went through a period of time where we were in quite a bit of pain because it was hard, you know, necks and elbows, arms, everything, especially for him driving because he was finding it tough just keeping the buggy pointing in the right direction. And then towards the end of our stint, and as I knew we were coming up to race mile whatever it was, and we were coming into the pit area, and it was quite sad. And I looked at him, and bless him, he looked sad too. So it was a real sort of roller coaster of a few hours, however long it was.
I knew everyone was going to be happy that we'd managed to make a lap of the Mint 400. But looking back at it now, I would have gone again, 100%. I would have carried on going. I was absolutely knackered. I was worn out. My arms were like burning. But the experience was so amazing that I think if for whatever reason, if they just said, will you go again, I think I would have asked John, do you fancy going again? And I'm pretty sure he might have said yes.
How was that, buddy?
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. I didn't lose
Beat. I am absolutely beat. God. Oh man, so me and John just finished. What an experience. That was absolutely insane. Amazing. I've never done anything like that in my life. And John was a brilliant co-driver. It's fantastic. God, that was so much fun.
I can use the
You
navigation.
can use the navigation. Very similar to a Tesla, apparently.
Yeah.
Aaron laid it down, awesome lap, handed it over to Baggsy. Baggsy laid it down, got it to me. We were on pace for a podium.
I guess we all had high expectations. You know, we Adam owned the truck. We knew he was very experienced, so we were thinking, you know, we were in a good position at this point. I think we were in like 7th or 6th position in our class. So maybe we were even thinking there might be an opportunity to get a podium or at least end up top 5 or whatever. But you know, that truck was holding on for dear life.
When we were racing, the car broke. We started swerving off the road. We're driving, hooks hard right, sand's blowing in our faces. I had that thing at the finish line before we stopped. In my mind, I'm fixing this thing. We're doing whatever it takes. I don't care if I'm driving on 3 wheels, 2 wheels, shoot, I don't know. I don't care if they close the finish line on a time limit. I'd cross it at some point in the middle of the night, you know?
Yeah, you know, the old man has a difficult job driving at night on a car that I railed on, Baggsy railed on. It's like we handed over some well-used equipment. It's cold, it's dark. Had his work cut out for him, but we're happy to see that it's moving again. So you want to see something? You want to see what rally's all about? You want to see what perseverance is all right? Come in here, I'll show you something. So you notice there's no half shaft in here, but here's the steering on it. So after everything failed and the shit was broke, so they started cannibalizing the other stuff off the car to get it home. So here it is, they crossed the finish line, there's the box, we're gonna talk about it, and the car's here. What else can you ask for?
I use a screwdriver as a bolt.
Hell yeah! Are you serious?
So what kind of day do we have? The best kind of day. How else? I mean, desert racing, this was incredible. My first Mint 400, I had the first lap. You know, it's like obviously experiencing some shock fade by the end of it, but like, it was excellent. I passed a lot of cars, put a lot of cars in my dust, got overtaken by a few turbo cars, but when I handed it over, I think we were in 11th place, handed the car over, and Baggsy rolled out. When he came back, had a hell of a ride, in like 6th place on it, so we're waiting to find out how Adam's done. This is an exciting day, and it's fixing to culminate right here on this stage.
To see the UTV with Adam come through and the rest of the team get together and climb the finish ramp and us all get our Mint 400 finishers medal was, yeah, it was really, really cool.
Just to experience it was good enough for me, but to actually end up with a top 10 finish and the truck made it back, and yeah, it was incredible. Just the whole experience was just amazing for me, and I loved every minute of it.
What do you mean? I was like, what's the final synopsis? What do I think about all this? You know what? I have had an absolute top to bottom, front to back blast. The team's been great. I've been super impressed with the car. And I do mean, I really thought we'd struggle more with the car. I really did. But ultimately, we've had such a great experience with the car. The car performed great.
So I'll say this 2021 Mint 400, in my eyes, was an awesome, awesome race. Huge success.
It's been a great experience. I love being at the Mint. I will absolutely be back. You know, it's like, as the years progress and have more opportunity, we really might find ourselves in bigger, faster trucks. But I'll tell you this has been something that, if you're interested, I'd suggest you give it a go.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself of a time when in spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I
tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. doesn't even matter.